I believe that there is a huge mentality of, it's a general belief that it's a matter of fact that labour is painful and should be feared, as something to be afraid of. And why do we think this? You know, if it's really not, then why would we think it? And something that I believe is a very strong factor in that is the Christian belief. If you trace back the story of Adam and Eve in the Bible, well, these were the first people, you know, on earth. And so the story goes, if you read the King James's version, is that because Eve was the one that told Adam to steal the apple from the Garden of Eden, despite God's instructions. And by the way, I'm not knocking Christianity before I go into this. You know, Adam and Eve were thrown out of the Garden of Eden, and as they were thrown out, that Adam was told that he would toil and labour for the rest of his life, and it would not be the paradise that it was in the Garden of Eden, and that Eve, from now on, women would have painful childbirth. So this is the curse of Eve. Now, the funny thing about this is that if you trace back the translations into English to the King James version of the Bible, you'll see that in the original version, God does not mention childbirth at all. He refers to both Adam and Eve on the exact same level, saying that you will both toil and labour for the rest of your life. Now, I can see how the word labour can be interpreted that way, but basically what it seems has happened is that the translator has had a little bit of poetic license and thrown in childbirth in there, just, you know, to make it a little bit, you know, a little bit worse for Eve. So if this is where one of the stories that we found, you know, the belief that childbirth is supposed to be painful, and in fact the original version doesn't even say that, then I believe that this really confirms to me that could it be possible that, like our sisters in the animal kingdom, birth is actually not intended to be the horrific and painful and horrible experience that we believe it should be. So anyway, I've gone very deeply into the effect of fear on the body and my beliefs about childbirth, and how the absence of fear can actually create a non-painful childbirth. But you might be thinking to yourself, well, what am I supposed to do about it? Like, I believe what I believe. How do I rid myself of this fear? So for the next video, I'm going to go all into all of the different methods that I have been using that has changed my paradigm. It's also relaxation methods that I use that I will be able to instantly put myself into a relaxed state, so that fear doesn't have a place in the birthing room. And I'm going to talk about all sorts of different methods that I use and that I believe work really well and that you could possibly benefit from. So please join me tomorrow for another exciting video. Until then, have a good night.